if the price of entry, if the cost of having somebody in your life or maintaining a relationship is that you have to edit or censor yourself or become a different person or basically perform for their satisfaction, then that cost is too high and it's not worth it. You deserve better. So I want to talk about this concept of you are what you attract. I've heard a lot of people say that, you need to work on yourself because once you've worked on yourself, you're not going to attract certain experiences to you anymore. And I just don't agree with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you think about that saying, like a moth to a like a moth to a flame, right? Shout out Janet Jackson. That's the way love goes. Um, a lot of things are attracted to flame. A lot of things are attracted to, for instance, lamps or chandeliers that are like the glass that holds a light bulb or whatever. Like if you look at one that hasn't been cleaned in a while, you'll see that there's all kinds of different bugs in there, gnats and whatnot, because all kinds of things are attracted to light. And I think that it's not that you are what you attract. It's really more that you are what you entertain. Because even assholes want loving partners. Even narcissists want good people around them. That's why they select and victimize people that have good hearts or who have certain like insecurities, but they want to see the best in people because they want to take advantage of that. It's not only good people that want good people around them. So I think that it's unfair to say like, oh, once you're healed, you're not going to attract certain things. I mean, who doesn't want to be with a beautiful person inside and out? Like, that's not the point. Like, if a beautiful person walks down the street, is that person, like, if a beautiful person, let's say somebody has a pure heart, is it only going to be pure-hearted people that find that person attractive, that likes what, the good characteristics that they have? No. Anybody can be attracted to a person, right? And I think that this is why spending time with yourself and really getting to know yourself and really working through and healing the parts of yourself that you don't understand or that have been harmed, like, it's really important because you're not going to understand what you're attracting or why you're entertaining certain people until you understand yourself. You're not going to understand why certain personalities or experiences feel so familiar to you because you haven't processed your childhood or you haven't like figured out what makes you tick for real. Like, you don't know. I love this color palette. Sorry, I know that's like not a part of the video, but it is for me. Anyway, if you don't really take the time to know yourself, if you don't, for instance, really take the time to understand why a relationship that you were just in ended, right? Why you left, why they left, why the both of you were like, fuck it. If you don't really think about it and you just jump right into the next experience, it's going to be easy for you to repeat that experience with somebody else because you don't understand what just happened. And I think a lot of people are terrified to understand themselves because it's scary. It's scary sometimes processing through things that you don't quite understand. You don't know the origin of why that particular experience, like why you were attracted to that person even though they were always like shading you and like insulting you. You don't know why you stayed with somebody even though they cheated on you multiple times. You don't know why you don't know how to communicate your feelings. Maybe you don't know why you were with somebody who doesn't know how to communicate their feelings. Like, you have to take that time to be in solitude to like learn who you are, understand who you are, the parts that are fun and happy and the parts that maybe are sad and confused. Like, that's crucial because if you don't do that, it'll be really easy for you to fall into anything. You don't even necessarily know what you like if you don't know yourself. You don't know what to select because you don't know yourself. You don't know what your standards are because you've never sat down and thought, well, this is what I require. This is what makes me happy. This is what is healthy for me. You have no standards. So if you meet somebody that happens to be a good person, a loving person who communicates clearly, who's thoughtful and accountable about how they might hurt you and apologizes appropriately and changes and shifts their behavior as needed. If you happen to meet that person, great. Amen. Awesome. But if you happen to meet an asshole, then you happen to meet an asshole. And until you understand yourself and what you like and what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate, you're not going to have any metric of what the fuck is okay for you. You're not going to have any standards. You're not going to know what the fucking bar is. So you ending up in a good relationship, having good friendships, having, healthy, loving people around you is like the luck of the draw. Because you're not selecting anything. You're letting life select you. But when you do that internal work and you look at growing and learning and healing as a continual process, and you're not afraid to sit down and to sit with yourself and to think and to journal and to go to the beach and to reflect and to meditate and to pray and to just get to know yourself. When you're able to do that, you're more likely to understand what you like, what you don't like, what you'll tolerate, what you won't tolerate. So now, you being the flame and you attracting all kinds of different people, you're gonna now have that ability to select what you desire. You're gonna actually have you're going to be able to choose what you experience. You're not going to, when you've done that self work, that healing, that internal work to know yourself, it's your life won't be happening to you so much. You'll be more of an active you'll be actively choosing, because it's not that you are, what you attract. No. You are what you entertain. You are what you tolerate. And if you don't know what that means, just look at the people in your life. Look at the people who you talk to most of the time, that you hang out with most of the time. Your family members. When people say certain things, do you just tolerate it? You just deal with it? If somebody hurts your feelings, do you address it? Are the people in your life loving and thoughtful and accountable if you tell them that they've hurt you? If most of the people in your life are shady to you, then you tolerate a lot of bullshit. And there's nothing, it's not a judgment. It's just like a fact. And it's a fact that you can change at literally any fucking moment. At any moment of your life, you can say, nope, I'm not doing that no more. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I just really think that that's important. Like, I feel like sometimes people think, oh, I'm just bad. I just have bad luck with romance. Maybe, I don't know your life. Like, it is possible to have back-to-back fucked up fucking experiences with people. That is real. And I think it's really important to understand that you do have the power to select who you deal with and who you don't deal with. And when you feel like you don't have the power to select who you deal with and who you don't deal with, that's when you need to really look at your entire life and be like, well, why don't I feel like I have that choice? Why don't I feel like I have the choice? Why do I feel like my love life keeps happening to me? Why do I feel like I keep having these kinds of fucked up interactions with friends or with whomever the person may be? So yeah, that's my main point. You are not who you attract, baby. Okay. Because even an asshole wants a sweetheart for a girlfriend or a lover or a partner or a boyfriend. Like, even narcissists want la creme de la creme. That's why they pursue sweet people, so they can fucking take advantage of and abuse them, right? You are not what you fucking attract. Anybody can be attracted to you, all right? You are what you entertain, so entertain wisely. All right. Love you. Bye. A lot of people talk about soul ties. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people talk about soul ties, and I'm like, babe, it just sounds like you're describing an unhealthy attachment. I'm just going to keep it real with you, sis. It sounds like you're describing an unhealthy attachment that you refuse to let go of or don't yet know how to let go of. But I think that when you use language like it's a soul tie, it's like you're giving the connection this kind of ethereal, spiritual power that's only there because of you. It's a soul tie because you said so. Like, you have attached yourself to somebody emotionally, you can detach. It might take time, it might be challenging, it might be really fucking hard for you in that moment, but there's absolutely nothing stopping you from taking one step in that direction and then another step in that direction. I feel like sometimes we kind of abdicate our power to these terms, and we don't know necessarily how to talk about these complex emotions that we don't know what to do with. You loving somebody a lot and having a challenging time, like letting go after a breakup, like that's not necessarily a soul tie. And if you want to call it that, it's fine. It's your life. It's your soul. They're your soul ties. If that's what you want to, if that's how you want to look at it that way. I just feel like when you make things seem like, oh, I can't help it, it's a soul tie, well, then you can't help it, it's a soul tie, and you'll be tied up in that motherfucking shit for however fucking long. It's your choice, it's your life. Okay? You can say somebody is your soulmate, and then you can say that they're not. Do you know what I'm saying? You can say, like, this is a soul tie beyond my control, or you can say that it's not. I love that person. Now I've moved on. They are not healthy for me. I am done. Now, it might take a long time for you to get to that space of being done if that person is no longer healthy for you. But I think that the language that you use matters. If you're going to use language like something is completely out of your control, it's a soul tie, it's there forever, you're always going to come back to each other, well, then that's how it's going to be. Because it's your life. Okay? If you have convinced yourself that you cannot, no matter what you do, let go of this person because it's a soul tie, then you are going to be caught up with that person, tied up for as long as you feel that way. You need to make up, in my opinion, because I'm not a mental health care professional, I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist. This is just my opinion and my perspective. You make up your mind about who has what space, title, and where they occupy, like what space they occupy in your life, if they do or not. You make that choice. And when you give somebody a weighty title like soul tie, it's not surprising that you're caught up fucking mourning them for however many months and years, because you're the one who said, this person is this to me, I can't let go of them, we're connected beyond life, our souls have loved each other for years. Okay, fine. I'm just saying, if somebody keeps breaking your fucking heart, perhaps they're not your soulmate. Okay? I always look at it like this. I look at somebody's behavior and I'm like, you know what? My soulmate wouldn't treat me like this. My beloved wouldn't treat me like this. My good friend wouldn't treat me like this. My true family wouldn't treat me like this. Somebody that really loved and valued me wouldn't treat me like this. And there's no excuse. There's no back and forth. There's no I don't give a fuck. Okay? If somebody is consistently fucking with you, intentionally triggering you, hurting and abusing you, just remove that title. Remove that title, big. Remove it. You want to know what title you can give them? Someone you used to know. That's the title you can give them. And it might take you a minute to get to a space of letting go of that person, but please stop giving weighty, heavy titles to people who don't deserve it, who haven't earned it, and whose behavior definitely defies that title. Soul tie? I don't want to be tied to nobody, baby. Okay? No. There is no tied. There is no tied. We roll together and we don't have to be tied up. When someone chooses you and you choose them, you don't need to be tied to each other because you choose each other. That's just my opinion.